Hello everyone. Today we are going to have a look at the pointless top 10 Kodos in World of Warcraft. Let's have a look at them.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Pointless Top 10, a show where we make top 10 lists out of pointless things. Why are we flying by this pointless statue in Booty Bay? Because inside pointless things are treasure.
I wonder what damage this statue.
Number 10 is Talut the Kodo. I don't know how you say it, but it's one of those. Possibly a reference to Talut from the Mammoth Hunters, according to somebody on Wowhead. But so, he's just a good guy. He's drinking some water. He's, I guess, waiting for his owner, or I don't know what he's doing. He's just kind of chilling here. But I always remember him from Zanger Marsh, so I was like, hey, that's a Kodo that's pretty notable. I think a lot of people have seen him, but I don't think he has any other notoriety outside of that. So I figured this would be a good time because of that to talk about what are Kodos. So Kodos are massive reptiles with hardly visible scales and thick leathery skin that ranges in color from sandy brown to black. Most Kodo have a large horn that sprouts from their nose, and some are even covered in woolly hair. Kodo range across central Kalimdor, but are particularly prevalent in Mulgore, after they were brought there by the Tauren during the Third War. Also, the name Kodo is probably derived from Japanese taiko drumming band Kodo, especially since orcs used Kodos to carry war drums into battle. So,
you know what's like interesting about Kodos? For those of you that have played Warcraft 3, they used to be the mounts of orcs in the strategy games of Warcraft, right? But when WoW came out, it became the main mount for the Tauren. But I have never seen, I think, a Tauren ride a Kodo until World of Warcraft. Because they used to be the mounts of the orcs. At least it was like that in Warcraft 3. So I thought it was like so fascinating. And there's like one really cool Kodo mount, by the way. But you only get this one if you are a Tauren Paladin. The Sunwalker Kodo. Like, it's such a cool mount. Like, it has some cool effects as well.
So there you go. A little bit of Kodo facts, a little bit of Talut, and that's why he's number 10. 9. Number 9 is the Brewfest Kodo, and the Brewfest Kodo is a mount that you acquire from killing Korin Direbrew in Blackrock Depths during Brewfest. It appears that it has about a 3 to 14% drop chance, which sounds about right. This is also a mount that's more coveted amongst Alliance because you can't really get Kodos on Alliance, while Horde, you can usually get a decent amount of Kodo mounts. Fun fact, this actually dropped on our first Korin Direbrew attempt last year in Classic WoW, and I won the mount, so it was pretty cool. But I really do love this mount. I love the armor of the mount, I love the colors, I love the little mugs on the armor plates, I like all of it. And if you read the mount journal, it actually says Korin Direbrew won this prize after drinking a Tauren druid under the table, and the druid was in bear form. It was one of Direbrew's proudest moments. So there you go.
Wait, he was in bear form. Does that mean if people are drinking in the World of Warcraft universe while in bear form, they can actually, they can drink more and they don't get drunk or what? Like, what's happening here? Yo, but I love, like, what I love about, like, those Kodos, especially as mounts, and this is the same with, like, the Paladin mount, like, they look so good in armor. Like, there's also the PvP Kodo mount, and it looks just so nice.
A lore fact, if you never read the mount journal about the Brewfest Kodo. I do know they're making some changes to Brewfest this year with Dragonflight, so that's pretty exciting.
Maybe they increase
Hopefully
the
they actually
chance.
update literally anything about it. But as for now, the Brewfest Kodo is number 9. 8. Number 8 is Tavgren's Kodo, and Tavgren's Kodo is the Kodo of Earthbinder Tavgren, who is a Tauren quest giver in the Cenarian Thicket in Terakar Forest. He was actually one of the 2 survivors of the destruction of the Cenarian Thicket Druid Enclave, and he was away on a survey of the Bone Waste during the attack. The other survivor was Warden Treelos, who was present when the devastation occurred and was driven insane by it. But his Kodo is great. He's a tan, yellowish Kodo with brown spots, and he carries a bunch of stuff on his back. I know a lot of Kodos are actually used as kind of pack animals that carry a bunch of stuff around, on top of what we mentioned earlier about the war drums, but it does seem like Kodos are primarily used as pack animals now, or as mounts. So Tavgren's Kodo, you know, nothing too crazy special about him, but you need these types of Kodos on the list, right? Like, so what if there's nothing crazy special about him? He is still a vital part of World of Warcraft and a vital part of transporting supplies. And that's why Tavgren's Kodo is number 8. 7. Number 7 is Arakia, and Arakia is
he
a
from a
named Kodo
quest?
found roaming the hills just east of Thunderbluff. Arakia's actually been in the game since the original version of World of
I think it's
Warcraft way
for
back when.
quest, if I'm
And
not
Arakia
mistaken.
used to be a quest objective for the Cairn Bloodhoof quest,
Yes,
Rites of the
I
Earth
remember.
Mother. The description was, you have passed the rites of the Earth Mother and earned your place in Thunderbluff. But in order to maintain the spot that you strive so hard to achieve, you must continue to prove your worth to your people. We are hunters. Down below in Mulgore, there is a mighty Kodo named Arakia. Show me your skills in the ways of tracking and hunting by bringing
dropped
me
something.
the horn of Arakia.
Oh, the horn it
but
was.
that quest is no longer in the game. Arakia, however, still...
You know, I don't get it. Why did Blizzard remove those kind of quests? Because this quest would be good for beginners. I don't think this is boring. Like, I thought it was always interesting, especially starting zones where you have to like hunt unique NPCs. Like, I think this is more interesting to hunt one unique NPCs than to farm, I don't know, pelts from 50 kills. You need 10 or 5 pelts or something, and you just have to kill random mobs. I think it's more fun to kill mobs with a unique name. Like, it can even be rares where you need a group for. I thought those kind of hunting quests were the most fun ones than to have to farm pelts or something and kill 10 tigers or something, because this was so boring always. But to look for like those unique ones, I thought this was so cool.
Still
Too bad
is
they
in the
removed
game,
it.
but they are now a rare spawn and seemingly tamed by a lot of hunters. And I really wanted to put Arakia on the list because I do remember doing this quest way back in Classic WoW. And I do remember seeing Arakia all the time just questing in Mulgore. So to me, Arakia being one of the most notable Kodos in Mulgore, which is one of the most Kodo-rich territories in World of Warcraft, is good enough for me to put them at number 7. 6. Number 6 is Kapik, or Kapik. I'm not sure how you say it.
That's the paladin mount
Sunwalker
that I mean.
Dezko's riding Kodo. And if you don't know who Sunwalker Dezko is, he is one of the most notable Tauren lore characters in the game, outside of like Bane and Cairn
love the
Bloodhoof.
fire effect
Sunwalker
and the
Dezko is
glow.
a prominent Tauren Sunwalker and the chieftain of the Dawn Chaser tribe. He was dispatched by Bane Bloodhoof to the myth-shrouded land of Pandaria. He's a quest giver and major character during the Krasarong Wilds storyline. In fact, he ends up being in Warlords of Draenor, Legion, Battle for Azeroth, and Shadowlands. And maybe my favorite thing about Sunwalker Dezko is that he says, like many World of Warcraft players over the years, he has fallen off the Thunderbluff elevator on more than one occasion.
Wow.
So I
He's
love
still
that.
alive.
He's keeping it real. Maybe he's also checked out Pointless Top 10 Elevators, which I'll put up in the cards up there. Sorry, shameless
Maybe.
plug. But more importantly is his Kodo. Kapik, or Kapik,
Looks nice.
is really cool. They've got a custom set of Kodo armor that you don't really see anywhere else in the game. They've got like crazy totems with faces and fire coming out of their eyes. They've got kind of this sun theme going. It's almost like a cool sun because it's blue and red. You would think it would be like yellow and orange, right? But it's a really cool Kodo. And it's one of those Kodos that doesn't really get much attention because it's just chilling in the crest.
I think this is maybe my most favorite paladin mount. Second, I would have to say it's probably the Dark Iron Dwarf Paladin mount. Like, I really think this one looks very, very good. Like, if you're like a Tauren Paladin, and you have like a really cool transmog where you look like a real warrior paladin sort of hybrid thingy, right? And then you sit on this looks so nice. I've seen people with really nice transmogs on Tauren Paladins before, sitting on that mount. It looks so great. But another real great Paladin mount is, I think, the Darkforge sort of ramp thingy that you get as a Dark Iron Dwarf Paladin. I think that one looks nice too. It's a very cool mount.
Krasarong Wilds, and I don't think you really see it in many other parts of the game that he goes to. This seems to be the only time that you see Kapik or Kapik. And so when I came across this Kodo, just doing mount farming stuff, I was like, dude, that's pretty cool. And that's why Kapik is number 6. 5. Number 5 is the quest Calming the Kodo, and this is a fun quest where you actually feed enraged Kodos and calm them down with some soothing broth. And you might be like, wow, that sounds really nice.
And
Some
they get
broth?
smaller
What's
after
in it?
eating.
Well, according to Teresa Amberglen, who does this quest, she says it's time to put my theory to the test. I've used the rejuvenated thunder lizard's blood in the making of this concoction. I hope it will soothe the Kodo when they eat it. Well, it turns out it does. So, thunder lizard blood, apparently, one of the best Kodo calming agents around. But this is just a fun quest because you put some soup down and they run over and eat it, and they're like, "Brah." They eat it in like one bite too, and they're good to go.
Yeah, shrinking.
Apparently, a lot of people find this quest annoying because the Kodos do take forever to spawn. So if other people are doing it, it's a bad time. But if you're just
Yeah,
there
it's
doing it
time
alone,
consuming.
it's great. I also think these Kodos are a really cool color. They're kind of like greenish gray, which I like.
There's a lost Kodo mount you can get. Was it Darkshore? I think it was Darkshore, right? And there's like one mount, and this has, I think, the same skin as this one, and you can get this as a mount. Yeah.
A lot more of like a scaly reptilian type of Kodo, so I wanted to put this in the list, and I thought number 5 was a good spot. 4. Number 4 are the ancient Kodos, and the ancient Kodos are found
Kodo
at the Kodo Graveyard,
Yeah.
which is a large graveyard that is the
that.
final resting place of the Kodo located in Desolus.
They come there to
Notably,
die.
there is a quest to collect Kodo bones that requires adventurers to fight Kodo apparitions, which materialize when they attempt to loot bones on the ground. The entire concept of the Kodo Graveyard is a reference to the legendary elephant graveyards, which, if you don't know, is a place where, according to legend, old elephants instinctively direct themselves when they reach a certain age. There's also the Goblin Smeed Scrabble Screw that has figured out how to rejuvenate and control aged and dying Kodos with his Kodo Combobulator. And there's a quest where you have to go round up a bunch of Kodos and bring it back to them. So I always thought the Kodo Graveyard was cool, and so the ancient Kodos are a part of the Kodo Graveyard, and that's why I picked the ancient Kodos. I mean, listen, they're just old Kodos. I'm an old person at heart, right? I'm an old person pretty much in general. My body, my mind. The only thing that isn't old about me is my age. So that's why the ancient Kodo is number 4. 3. Speaking of the cycle of life, number 3 is the baby Kodo, the Kodo Calfling. And the Kodo Calfling is the pet of Geth, and the Calfling will follow.
How comes I've never seen this one? That's the smallest Kodo I have ever seen in WoW, and I have not seen it in-game, only here in this pointless top 10 video. How did I miss this one?
Is the pet of Geth, and the Calfling will follow Geth around, but that's pretty much it. And if you're wondering about Geth, if there's anything in particular that's important about Geth or any crazy stuff, nope, he's just some orc kid
just a random
wandering around.
Imagine this
so
as
it's
a
really
battle
just
pet.
some random kid and his pet Kodo, and I love that, man. Like, these are the
So
things that I
small.
really enjoy finding in pointless top 10. You know, just the actual pointless things in the game that truly are treasures, right? Like, this kid's just wandering around with his Kodo, and they're having a great time. And sometimes that's all you need, right? Sometimes you're just walking around the world and some people will be like, oh, this isn't really a part of the game in terms of like questing or collectibles. Why is it here? Well, it adds depth to the world, right? Like, it adds something. The pointless things truly do add something. And he's cute. In fact, I'm surprised that we don't have more Kodo Calflings. You know what I mean? So
I think it's the
that's
only
why
one,
the Kodo
right?
Calfling is number 3. 2. Number 2 is Brutusk, and Brutusk is a Kodo at the Morshan Rampart in Ashenvale, and he's part of the quest chain for Got Lumber, which is this big quest chain where you have to go on the offensive and strike Ashenvale with the Horde, and at the end of it, Brutusk actually dies, and it's a big sad thing, and they're like, Brutusk, no! So if you just don't do the quest, Brutusk lives.
What?
Brutusk only dies if you do the quest, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, just don't do the quest and he'll just...
Wait a second, so if you never do the quest, he's forever standing there, right? So, you know what? I think I've not done this quest, and the reason why is I was always so high level in such a fast time that I barely got to do quests. Same with like tie walking. This is something that I think Blizzard needs to work on. Like, I'm doing freaking tie walking. I go to Chromie. I pick one expansion. I only finish half the expansion, and I already get called to return. Back in the day was I get returned to the capital city for Shadowlands. Now it's to get back for freaking Dragonfly. It's just everything is just so fast. Like, it's crazy. So I miss so many quests because I can't do them.
be chilling there all the time. It's a foolproof plan, or a foolproof. I never know which one it is. But either way, Brutusk actually looks really cool. He kind of has the Brewfest
I think we can get the same mount.
vibe going
I
on,
have
but
to
without
check.
all the crazy, you know, the beer mugs and like all that stuff. But I mean, listen, man, this guy is a war-torn Kodo. Like, he has seen battle. Obviously, there is
reminds
a
me of
timeline
one
where he
mount you
dies, but
have
we're not going
in-game.
down that timeline.
I'm not sure if it's the
that's
same
why
color.
Brutusk is number 2. 1. And number 1 is Dodonga, the Kodo in the Ungoro crater. And in classic WoW, Dodonga gives you the quest, Dodonga is hungry, and you have to bring her
Dodonga's hungry.
15 blood petal sprouts. Dodonga is also very likely a reference to the original Legend of Zelda game. The wise man you find in the dungeon says something along the lines of, Dodongo dislikes smoke, and if you go to one of the NPCs by Dodonga, they say, I know, Dodongo dislikes smoke. However, when the
it's a
Cataclysm
reference
hit,
then.
Dodonga was killed. This is just the
No.
classic Blizzard just killing something
Not
off for no
again.
reason. I'm just like, dude, what? So sadly, Dodonga is buried at Dodonga's grave. However, the ghost of Dodonga appears during the Ungoro Madness event. So you can still see Dodonga,
But it's
but
a
only
ghost.
for like 3 days out of the year. And she's a ghost.
Oh no.
But I just think Dodonga is really cool. It's one of the only like quest-giving NPCs that's a
That is a
Kodo,
Kodo,
in
yeah.
the game, I believe, and they've been around since the entire game of Classic WoW into Retail WoW. I mean, now they're a ghost, but I mean, there's plenty of characters that are around that are just ghosts in the game, right? So that's why, to me, Dodonga
they're unique to the
is
Warcraft
number one.
universe.
Hey, everybody, thanks for checking out this episode.
Like, Kodos are very unique creatures because I don't know any game that has something similar like Kodos. Like, what looks like freaking Kodos in a fantasy game? I can think of anything like that, right? And no, like, yeah, they are kind of based off rhinos. If you look at them, they are like rhinos, but sort of different from rhinos, right? But I think they're really cool. I love all the Kodo mounts because they make you look so massive. It also depends on what race and class you're playing. But if you're something like Paladin or Warrior, even on a Hunter, it looks really cool to ride a Kodo. So yeah. But I didn't know there was such a small Kodo. Like, I wish we had a battle pet like that. Or does a battle pet exist that is a Kodo? That would be so cool. I want to farm this one then. But yeah, there's a very simple looking Kodo you get. I think it was a Darkshore. It's like the Lost Kodo, what it's called. And when it spawns and you go to it, you can get it. And it's such a interesting mount. I farmed this one. And if I'm not mistaken, you can use that on Alliance as well. So yeah, not only the Brewfest Kodo, but also this Lost or Frightened Kodo, what it's called. You can use this too on Alliance. So yeah, wow, that was interesting to check out. I have to, like, one thing is always interesting when I look at, like, the Pointless Top 10 series by wowcrendor. I often see stuff I have not seen yet in-game, and I'm really curious about it. So sometimes what I do after checking out his episodes, I literally go in-game and I look for the location and check this out. And I will do the same with the baby Kodo. I want to find it today. Interesting. But yeah, if you guys are new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give this one a thumbs up. And I will see you guys next time.